Okay, Bills-Chiefs, always a treat when these two teams play each other. Let's pause it to set the stage because the game's over, right? I mean, this is over. Chiefs are down 15 points. They're going to go for it on 4th and 17. If they don't convert here, it just feels like that's just going to be it. I'm going to want you to watch what Mahomes does right when this play begins because this is insane what they're going to do right here. Watch as Mahomes kind of fakes it though it's like a rollout, but then he's going to spin it back, and you have another offensive lineman who comes over. So essentially what they did was they ran just this sort of interesting maneuver. I don't know exactly what you call that because it's 4th and 17 and you need more time. You usually get about 2.5 seconds on a typical play, and it's probably been a little less than that this game. That's plenty of time for a 10-yard play, but when the defense is playing back, that's not enough time to set something up down the field. Interestingly, down the field, they have like a full zone buster going on there, what you would typically see against like a cover 3 zone. But again, I've never seen a team do it this far down the field, but they knew they would have extra time with this concept. And watch Mahomes hit Rashee Rice, who does get open. That's one of the best play calls you will ever see. Give Andy Reid and this offensive coaching staff a ton of credit for drawing that one up. And just like that, the Chiefs stay alive. A little bit later, we had this, a 4th down and 1, which, like, on one hand, hey, they just converted a 4th and 17. Of course they're going to convert to 4th and 1, but on the other hand, I mean, it's a whole new play, right? Like, you still have to convert if you're the Chiefs. Everyone's expecting a Mahomes pass, so instead he gives the ball to Kareem Hunt. They convert the touchdown. They also go for 2 and convert that as well. Why do you go for 2 now instead of waiting? Because if you don't score, it's going to be a 2-score game? Well, because essentially, either way, you're probably going to need a 2-point conversion at some point in this game. It's better to just go for 2 now and know if it's going to be a 1-score game or a 2-score game. You convert, you know you can play it out as though you only need 1 score. If you don't convert, you play it out as though you need 2 scores, right? So now heading over here, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills find themselves, it's, 3rd and 14. And, you're kind of just thinking, hey, for the Bills, yes, that's not an ideal drive, but you have the Chiefs right where you want them, right? You're at midfield, you're up 7 points, get the ball into field goal range, kick a field goal, make it a 2-score game, and you're fine. Allen's going to try and scramble and make something happen, but the Kansas City Chiefs track him down. He gets sacked on the play. They have to give the ball to Kansas City. And what do you think Patrick Mahomes is going to do down 7 in a situation like this? He's going to bomb one downfield and throw a touchdown. Of course, no, it is an interception instead. Yes, picked off on the play. Again, not what you usually expect, although Mahomes did throw an interception in a key spot in another regular season game against the Bills in his career. So really a desperation play on a 3rd and 10. But, again, we've seen Mahomes convert 4th downs before. So ultimately, it's not a great play by Mahomes there. You get it, but it's still not a great play. And it is a great play defensively by it's the rookie Maxwell Harrison, who they kind of drafted because he has speed and can cover these speedy Kansas City corners and, well, coming through in a big way. But of course, heading over here, this game is not over. So it's 3rd down and 3. There's 2 minutes and 39 seconds left. If the Chiefs can get a stop, force a punt, they have a full, couple minutes left with Mahomes. We know he can get the ball down there in time. It'll only be a question of can they convert or will the Bills defense get one more stop. You don't want to put your defense in that situation if you can avoid it. Josh Allen is going to fake a handoff, instead flips it to Cook in the flat, and Cook does a good job of falling down instead of running out of bounds and making sure he forces Kansas City to burn another timeout. Huge play there, which just allows them to kill a ton more time, a ton more of the clock at this point. So then that brings us to this situation. So you see, it was weird how they didn't call they called timeout on the 3rd down play, so now they don't have time to call it before the 4th down play. I was a little confused about that because the Bills are now out of timeouts, but still, you see, it's going to be about 27 seconds left on the game clock to kick a field goal is the decision. Is that the right call here? It's debatable, right? Because a punt does burn more clock and it also pushes them further deep. This is a lot closer than you usually punt, but you still can do it, right? Ultimately, the logic is if you kick the field goal, you win the football game. And there's nothing really Kansas City can do if you make the field goal. You have one play to win it. Usually when that's the situation, you like those odds. But here you're going to see this field goal. It looks good and the wind just kicks it right. It looks like it just hooks, and ultimately it's a right-footed kicker, but it still hooks right off the upright. No good. all of a sudden, the Kansas City Chiefs have a chance yet again. 22 seconds left, no timeouts. I mean, it's a tough situation. But Mahomes on this play, a designed rollout is going to make a nice throw to get out of bounds and get to the 40. So, hey, worst case scenario, they can try a Hail Mary. Obviously, they want to get a little bit closer than that. On this one, Mahomes going to have time to go for the end zone. Decides to do a play early. Didn't have to go for the end zone, but just incomplete. Why not, right? Sometimes I think everyone's focused on getting closer for the Hail Mary. Maybe just try 2 Hail Marys. This one does not convert. So now they're down to one final chance. And as you see, Mahomes ends up kind of throwing this one awkwardly off his back foot, doesn't ultimately get it to the end zone, and the Buffalo Bills survive an absolutely crazy game against the Kansas City Chiefs. That pick late by Mahomes, was definitely a big part of it. But yeah, multiple fourth down conversions, a 4th and 17 conversion, but ultimately a win is a win for the Buffalo Bills. But I think the Chiefs still showed you they're still the Chiefs, and the Bills have now won 5 straight against Kansas City in the regular season. We all know it's not gonna change anything until they can beat them in January. However, the Chiefs now fall to 5-4, 2 games back from the division. They got some work to do for sure.